There exists a mysterious power within every human being, a silent guiding force that transcends logic, reason, and the five physical senses. It is the unseen bridge between your conscious mind and the infinite intelligence that governs all creation. This hidden faculty is known as the sixth sense, and it stands as the highest form of human understanding. It is not taught in schools, nor can it be acquired through books. It awakens only when one has mastered control over the conscious and subconscious mind, when thought, faith, and desire operate in perfect harmony. The sixth sense is the highest faculty of the human mind, the invisible bridge that connects you to the source of all intelligence and creation. It is the gateway through which ideas, inspirations, and solutions flow from the infinite realm of thought into the conscious mind. Every great achievement, every work of genius, and every stroke of brilliance begins as a spark received through this subtle channel. The human mind, though vast in its potential, operates like a receiver, and the sixth sense is its most sensitive antenna. It tunes into the frequency of infinite intelligence, the same intelligence that governs the stars, controls the tides, and breathes life into every living being. The physical senses, sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell, allow us to navigate the material world, but they are limited by what they can perceive. The sixth sense transcends these boundaries. It allows you to tap into knowledge that cannot be seen, heard, or reasoned out through logic. It brings flashes of insight that arrive without warning, answers that seem to appear in moments of quiet reflection or even while you sleep. It is the power that whispers the right decision when all options seem unclear, or gives birth to an idea that changes the course of your life. This invisible faculty is not something that can be forced or summoned through willpower. It awakens gradually as one learns to control and direct the other faculties of the mind. The conscious mind, when focused and disciplined, becomes the commanding center. The subconscious mind, when properly conditioned with faith, desire, and purpose, becomes the creative workshop. And when these two are harmonized, the sixth sense opens naturally, acting as a bridge between the finite and the infinite. It allows you to receive guidance beyond your reasoning power, wisdom beyond your education, and courage beyond your understanding. The sixth sense operates best in minds that are free from fear, doubt, and confusion. These negative emotions block the flow of intuitive guidance because they lower the vibration of thought. The energy of the mind must be clear and confident to connect with infinite intelligence. Faith, gratitude, and calmness act as conductors, while worry, impatience, and disbelief act as barriers. When your mind is in a state of harmony, when your desires are definite, your emotions are positive, and your thoughts are disciplined, you become a natural channel for this higher wisdom. Many people experience glimpses of the sixth sense without realizing it. A mother feels that her child is in danger miles away. A business person suddenly knows which decision will lead to success. An inventor awakens from sleep with the missing piece of his design. These are not coincidences. They are the workings of the sixth sense in action. The difference between ordinary individuals and those who achieve greatness lies in awareness. The ordinary person dismisses these inner messages as imagination, while the extraordinary one recognizes them as guidance and acts upon them. Developing this faculty requires trust. You must learn to believe in the unseen and act upon the subtle impressions you receive. The more you trust these signals, the stronger and clearer they become. Doubt is like static in a radio signal. It distorts and weakens the message. Faith clears the interference and sharpens the reception. When your mind is trained to operate in this faith-based awareness, you become guided by a wisdom that never misleads. It is important to understand that the sixth sense never operates in the service of greed or selfishness. It is connected to higher intelligence, which responds to purity of purpose. When your goals are aligned with growth, service, and creation, the infinite intelligence supports you fully. The more your intentions contribute to life, the more life contributes to you. Through the gateway of the sixth sense, the greatest truths of existence are revealed, not through struggle, but through surrender to higher understanding. When you quiet the noise of the outer world and listen within, you begin to sense that you are not alone in your efforts. There is a vast, unseen power guiding, inspiring, and strengthening you at every step. That realization is the beginning of mastery, the recognition that all knowledge, power, and creativity already exist in the invisible realm, waiting for you to tune your mind to its frequency. The sixth sense is that tuning mechanism. the sacred link between your human limitations and your divine potential. The sixth sense cannot function in a chaotic or confused mind. It requires a mental state that is calm, focused, and attuned to the higher vibrations of thought. This harmony of mind is not achieved by accident. It is created through deliberate control over one's thoughts, emotions, and desires. When your mind is scattered, constantly shifting from one idea to another, filled with fear or doubt, the subtle messages from infinite intelligence cannot reach you. But when your mind is still steady and aligned with a clear purpose, it becomes a powerful receiver of intuitive insight. The human mind operates much like a radio. To receive a clear signal, the radio must be tuned precisely to the right frequency. If there is interference or the dial is off even slightly, all that comes through is static. The sixth sense functions in the same way. It transmits higher knowledge, but only a disciplined, harmonious mind can tune in clearly. A mind filled with negativity, impatience, or confusion creates interference, while a mind that is centered in faith, gratitude, and purpose becomes a clear channel for guidance. Creating harmony within your mind begins with mastering your thoughts. Every thought carries a vibration that influences not only your emotions, but also the kind of energy you attract. Positive thoughts such as faith, confidence, courage, and love elevate your mental frequency. They open the door to higher inspiration. Negative thoughts such as fear, envy, anger, or doubt lower your vibration and block the flow of intuitive knowledge. Thus, the first task of anyone seeking to awaken the sixth sense is to cleanse the mind of destructive thought patterns. You must learn to replace every negative impulse with a positive one, until harmony becomes your natural state. Another aspect of mental harmony is emotional balance. The emotions are powerful forces that can either serve or destroy your progress. When you are ruled by uncontrolled emotions, especially fear, greed, or pride, your reasoning becomes clouded and your intuition cannot speak. But when your emotions are disciplined and guided by purpose, they generate tremendous creative energy. This energy, directed properly, strengthens the connection between your conscious and subconscious mind, making it easier for messages from infinite intelligence to pass through the sixth sense. Silence and meditation play an essential role in achieving this harmony. In the quiet moments of solitude, the noise of the world fades away, and the deeper voice of your inner intelligence can be heard. This is why so many great thinkers, inventors, and leaders have practiced stillness. They understood that inspiration does not shout, it whispers. The mind that is too busy thinking, worrying, or planning cannot hear that whisper. But the mind that is calm and receptive catches it instantly. Faith also plays a vital role in maintaining harmony. To develop the sixth sense, you must believe that such a power exists within you and that it can guide you faithfully toward success. Faith acts as the bridge between the seen and the unseen. It allows you to act on intuition even when logic cannot yet explain the outcome. This trust strengthens your connection with higher intelligence, while fear and doubt weaken it. The more you act in faith, the stronger your intuitive guidance becomes. Gratitude, too, harmonizes the mind. When you focus on appreciation rather than lack, your thoughts align with abundance and positivity. This shift of perspective keeps your mental energy elevated and receptive. Gratitude transforms challenges into opportunities for growth and opens your awareness to solutions that might otherwise go unnoticed. Finally, harmony of mind is achieved when all parts of your personality, your thoughts, emotions, desires, and actions are working in unity toward a definite purpose. When you have a clear goal and your entire being is directed toward it with enthusiasm and belief, your mental vibrations become strong and steady. This is the state in which the sixth sense begins to operate naturally. Inspiration, ideas, and guidance flow effortlessly because the mind is no longer divided. The power of the sixth sense does not arise in moments of chaos or desperation. It emerges when the mind has been trained, refined, and brought into perfect order. It is the reward for inner discipline, faith, and consistency. When your mind reaches this state of harmony, you begin to live in partnership with a higher intelligence. You sense the right paths to take, the right decisions to make, and the right people to trust. Life seems to unfold with ease, not because chance favors you, but because you are finally in tune with the eternal laws of success. The sixth sense communicates most effectively through intuition, that quiet inner voice that speaks without words, beyond logic or analysis. Intuition is not something that belongs to a select few. It is an ability that resides within every human being. However, only those who learn to listen to it, trust it, and act upon it truly benefit from its wisdom. This inner guidance is the language through which infinite intelligence speaks to the mind. It whispers truths that the conscious mind cannot yet perceive, offering solutions, warnings, and creative insights that often seem to appear out of nowhere. Intuition often arrives as a sudden feeling, a persistent thought, or a flash of inspiration that seems unexplainable by reason. You might call it a gut feeling or a hunch, but its origin lies far deeper than mere instinct. It is the bridge between your conscious reasoning and your subconscious knowing. When your mind is calm, focused, and free from fear, you are able to recognize and interpret these subtle signals correctly. But when your thoughts are clouded with doubt, negativity, or confusion, the voice of intuition becomes faint and distorted, often mistaken for random thoughts or emotion. Many of the world's greatest discoveries, inventions, and achievements have come through intuitive flashes. Inventors have described solutions appearing suddenly in dreams or in moments of deep relaxation. Artists, writers, and musicians speak of creative ideas that seem to come through them rather than from them. Business leaders have trusted inner promptings that defied logic but led to enormous success. This is the work of the sixth sense expressing itself through intuition. It is the unseen intelligence guiding human thought toward advancement and achievement. To make intuition a reliable tool, one must develop a habit of inner stillness and an observation. The mind must be trained to listen rather than constantly react. In silence, the intuitive messages of the subconscious can rise to the surface. Meditation, prayer, or even quiet reflection at the end of the day helps strengthen this connection. The more you practice listening inwardly, the clearer and stronger your intuitive impressions become. At first, they may come as faint suggestions, but over time, they evolve into powerful insights that guide every important decision. Faith is also essential in the development of intuition. Often, intuitive guidance appears illogical or contrary to immediate evidence. It may ask you to take a step that reason cannot yet justify. In those moments, you must trust that your inner wisdom sees farther than your conscious mind can. Doubt weakens the channel of intuition, while faith keeps it open and strong. Acting on your intuitive impulses builds confidence, and with each success, your trust in that inner voice deepens. Eventually, it becomes a dependable companion, steering you toward success with remarkable accuracy. Intuition also depends on the purity of one's motives. The sixth sense does not serve selfish or destructive purposes. It aligns with truth, growth, and the fulfillment of worthy goals. When your intentions are honest and your desires constructive, the intuitive guidance you receive will always lead you in the right direction. However, if your motives are rooted in greed, fear, or deception, your inner signals will become distorted, often leading to failure or regret. Thus, a pure heart and a clear purpose are essential to the accurate interpretation of intuition. One must also learn to act promptly when intuition speaks. The more you delay, the weaker its voice becomes. Intuition thrives on confidence and immediate action. When you hesitate, fear enters, and the logical mind begins to override the message. But when you act swiftly on genuine intuition, it rewards you with opportunities, connections, and outcomes that seem almost miraculous. Life begins to unfold with a sense of flow, as though invisible forces are working in your favor. The voice of intuition is not loud, it is gentle, subtle, and patient. It does not demand your attention. It waits for your awareness. It is the inner compass that always points you toward the best possible path, even when circumstances appear uncertain. By cultivating stillness, faith, and purity of purpose, you make yourself receptive to its messages. When you learn to trust that silent voice, you will find that it never misleads you. It is your direct line to higher intelligence, the part of your mind that knows more than logic can ever explain. To master intuition is to gain access to an invisible power that guides your destiny. It will warn you of danger before it appears, lead you to opportunities before others see them, and inspire ideas that transform your life. Those who walk in harmony with their intuition walk with confidence, for they are guided not by chance, but by the deepest wisdom of the universe itself. The sixth sense is not a power that develops automatically. It awakens only through mental discipline, faith, and clarity of purpose. The mind must be trained, refined, and prepared to receive its subtle messages. Just as a radio must be tuned precisely to pick up a broadcast, so too must your mind be adjusted to the right frequency to catch the whispers of the infinite. This tuning requires conscious effort, a daily practice of thought control, emotional mastery, and focus. The undisciplined mind is noisy, scattered, and filled with contradictions. Such a mind cannot receive the delicate vibrations of intuitive wisdom. Only a calm, controlled, and purpose-driven mind becomes the proper instrument for the sixth sense. Mental discipline begins with the ability to control your thoughts. Every idea that enters your mind either strengthens or weakens your connection to higher intelligence. Negative thoughts such as fear, doubt, jealousy, or anger create static in your mental channel. They block the flow of inspiration and replace clarity with confusion. On the other hand, positive emotions like faith, gratitude, and confidence elevate your mental state, making it more sensitive to intuitive impressions. Therefore, the first step to awakening the sixth sense is mastering what you allow your mind to dwell upon. Thoughts are not random visitors. They are invitations to corresponding experiences. Faith plays a vital role in this awakening. Without faith, you cannot believe in what cannot yet be seen or proven. Faith is the invisible bridge between your conscious desire and its spiritual realization. When you believe that guidance is available, you open the mental door for it to enter. Doubt closes that door. Faith, when combined with persistence and purpose, aligns your subconscious with infinite intelligence. You begin to notice signs, coincidences, and inner nudges that lead you toward the fulfillment of your goals. These are not accidents. They are the language of the sixth sense responding to your belief. Clarity of purpose is another essential condition. The sixth sense does not respond to vague or uncertain minds. If your goals are undefined, your intuition has nothing to guide you toward. The mind must have a definite direction, a clear picture of what it seeks to create or accomplish. Once that image is impressed upon the subconscious, the sixth sense begins to operate like a compass, directing you through inspiration and instinct toward its realization. Without clear intention, the signals you receive become mixed and unreliable, like static from an untuned station. Mental preparation also involves creating quiet moments of reflection. The sixth sense speaks most clearly in silence. Constant activity, worry, or distraction drowns out its voice. Spend time daily in solitude, away from noise and interruptions. In this stillness, your intuitive faculties awaken naturally. You begin to notice patterns, connections, and insights that were previously invisible. Answers to difficult problems appear effortlessly because your subconscious mind, connected to infinite intelligence, is always at work behind the scenes. Emotional mastery is equally important. The sixth sense cannot function through minds that are constantly disturbed by fear or anger. Such emotions cloud perception and distort truth. When you learn to remain calm in all circumstances, to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, you strengthen your intuitive accuracy. A balanced emotional state acts like clear water through which light can easily pass, while emotional turbulence is like muddy water that distorts everything it reflects. The awakening of the sixth sense also depends on repetition and patience. You cannot expect instant results. Intuition grows stronger through consistent use. Each time you trust an intuitive feeling and act on it successfully, your confidence in this inner faculty increases. Over time, your intuition becomes sharper, your faith unshakable, and your connection to higher intelligence constant. This is how great minds develop a sense of knowing that goes beyond logic. They have trained their minds to listen to the silent guidance within. Finally, one must live in harmony with truth and integrity. The sixth sense cannot operate effectively through deceit, selfishness, or greed. It aligns only with pure motives and constructive aims. When your purpose benefits others as well as yourself, your intuitive guidance becomes stronger and clearer because it resonates with universal law. The mind that seeks good for all receives guidance from a higher source, while the mind driven by ego cuts itself off from that flow. Thus, awakening the sixth sense is a conscious process of purification, discipline, and faith. It is not given freely. It is earned through the effort to master oneself. When the mind is calm, focused, and filled with faith, it becomes a perfect instrument for infinite intelligence to use. Then ideas, solutions, and opportunities flow effortlessly. The awakened mind no longer struggles. It receives. And in that quiet reception lies the secret to boundless success and wisdom. The power of the sixth sense expresses itself most clearly through flashes of inspiration, those sudden insights that appear without conscious effort, yet contain profound wisdom. These are not random bursts of creativity or coincidence. They are direct messages from the infinite intelligence that works through your subconscious mind. Inspiration arrives unannounced, often when you least expect it, during moments of calm reflection, while walking in solitude, or even in the middle of daily tasks. It feels as though an unseen force whispers an answer, a new idea, or a warning. This invisible communication is the sixth sense in action, and it serves as the bridge between the known and the unknown, between human intellect and divine guidance. These flashes of insight often come disguised as simple thoughts, but when you learn to recognize and trust them, you realize they carry immense power. They provide solutions that logic cannot explain, reveal opportunities others overlook, and warn you against mistakes that reason alone would never detect. Great discoveries, inventions, and decisions throughout history have been guided by this mysterious faculty. The intuitive mind, once awakened, becomes a faithful guide, a silent counselor that never misleads when it is properly understood and nurtured. However, the sixth sense does not reveal its treasures to the doubting mind. It opens its door only to those who believe in its existence and are willing to act upon its guidance. Doubt and fear act like heavy curtains that block the light of inspiration. The more you trust your intuition, the stronger it grows. The more you ignore it, the weaker it becomes. Many people receive flashes of inspiration but dismiss them as imagination or coincidence, only to realize later that they ignored valuable guidance. The mind must be trained to recognize these signals as meaningful and to act upon them with courage and confidence. Faith plays a vital role in interpreting these messages. The guidance of the sixth sense often defies logic. It may ask you to take a step that seems uncertain or unconventional. But those who have cultivated faith understand that the unseen hand guiding them never fails. They follow their intuition even when the path seems unclear. And as they proceed, the way forward becomes illuminated one step at a time. It is like walking through fog with a lantern that lights only a few feet ahead. The light moves with you, revealing more as you move forward. To receive inspiration clearly, one must maintain a state of inner calm. The mind that is constantly disturbed by worry, anger, or fear cannot hear the subtle voice of intuition. Inspiration speaks softly. It does not shout. Silence, solitude, and emotional balance create the environment in which the sixth sense can function freely. Many of life's greatest ideas have come during moments of stillness when the conscious mind relaxes its grip and allows the subconscious to communicate freely. The person who spends time each day in quiet reflection trains the mind to become receptive to these higher messages. The sixth sense also strengthens through purpose. When your mind is fixed on a definite goal, it naturally aligns with the universal intelligence that helps you achieve it. Your subconscious mind begins to attract ideas, people, and circumstances that match your purpose. This is why clear intention is necessary. Vague desires create weak signals, but definite purpose creates powerful guidance. Inspiration becomes a tool for progress rather than a passing thought. You begin to sense which decisions will lead you closer to your vision and which will take you away. Another vital aspect of interpreting inspiration is emotional purity. The sixth sense reflects the moral and emotional state of the individual. If your heart is clouded by selfish motives, envy, or greed, the guidance you receive will be distorted. But when your intentions are pure, when you seek success that benefits others as well as yourself, your intuition becomes a perfect channel for higher wisdom. The universe supports those whose motives are aligned with truth and integrity. Finally, inspiration demands action. The sixth sense reveals, but it does not perform. It gives you the idea, but you must take the steps. Many people experience great flashes of insight but fail to act, and those ideas fade like dreams upon waking. The mind that receives guidance must also have the courage and persistence to act upon it. Every time you follow your intuition with faith and determination, you strengthen your connection to the infinite. Thus, the flashes of inspiration from the sixth sense are not mere accidents, they are invitations from a higher realm of intelligence. They are the universe's way of guiding you toward your purpose, protecting you from danger, and inspiring you to create. To interpret and act upon these signals is to live in partnership with the infinite. And when that partnership is established, your journey through life becomes one of clarity, direction, and divine confidence, for you are no longer walking alone. You are guided by the silent power within. The sixth sense does not operate in isolation. It flourishes through harmony with other minds. When two or more individuals unite in thought, faith, and purpose, an unseen energy emerges between them, a shared intelligence that exceeds the sum of their individual minds. This invisible force is the same principle that governs the Mastermind Alliance, where collaboration and mutual understanding open the gateway to extraordinary insight. The sixth sense thrives in such environments because harmony magnifies mental vibration, amplifying the intuitive signals that flow from the infinite source of intelligence. When minds are in perfect accord, they begin to function on the same frequency. Ideas pass effortlessly between them, and new inspirations arise that neither individual could have created alone. This collective energy acts as a mental magnet, drawing in thoughts and guidance from a higher plane. In these moments, intuition becomes more vivid, creative imagination becomes more active, and inspired solutions emerge naturally. This is why the most successful leaders and creators often surround themselves with people of faith, vision, and positivity. They know that the right associations multiply insight and power. However, the opposite is equally true. Discord, jealousy, or negativity among minds destroy the channel through which higher inspiration flows. A single disbelieving or critical mind can weaken the energy of the group, blocking the intuitive exchange that gives rise to great ideas. The mind must be shielded against such influences. Harmony must be guarded as a sacred trust, for it is the foundation of collective intuition. When harmony is broken, inspiration turns to confusion, and the sixth sense retreats into silence. Thus, to maintain the flow of guidance, one must carefully choose companions who uplift, encourage, and share a common faith in purpose. The sixth sense functions most effectively in an atmosphere of mutual confidence. When trust exists among individuals, mental resistance dissolves, allowing thoughts to merge freely. This merging creates what might be described as a third mind, a higher form of consciousness that communicates directly with infinite intelligence. Within such an alliance, each member receives flashes of understanding that come not merely from personal experience, but from the shared pool of higher thought. History's greatest innovations, from inventions to revolutions, have often arisen from such united minds working toward a definite end. To cultivate this power, one must first develop the ability to harmonize internally. You cannot expect to blend your mind with others if your own thoughts are in conflict. Inner peace creates outer harmony. When you are at peace with yourself, free from fear, envy, or resentment, you radiate an energy that invites cooperation and connection. This is why personal discipline, emotional balance, and faith are essential. They make you a magnetic force that attracts minds of similar vibration. And when those vibrations unite, the channel to the infinite becomes wide open. Faith remains the central key to this harmony. Each member of a united group must believe in the purpose, in themselves, and in one another. Doubt within one weakens the whole. Faith, on the other hand, acts as an adhesive force that binds minds together. It removes hesitation, builds courage, and allows intuition to express itself freely. In such a state, guidance comes easily, and decisions flow with remarkable clarity. The sixth sense becomes a collective voice that speaks through the unity of thought. It is also important to recognize that harmony does not mean uniformity. Each person brings unique strengths, experiences, and perspectives to the group. True unity allows these differences to blend into a greater whole without conflict. When egos are set aside and all minds focus on a shared vision, the energy of cooperation becomes unstoppable. The sixth sense uses this harmony as a channel to deliver ideas that serve not only individuals but humanity as a whole. In this way, the sixth sense becomes both personal and collective. Individually, it connects you to infinite intelligence. Collectively, it transforms groups into living centers of creative power. When you work in harmony with others of faith and vision, inspiration multiplies, and the impossible begins to take shape. Each idea, each intuitive spark, becomes part of a grand design shaped by unseen hands. Thus, the sixth sense thrives not in isolation but in unity. When minds blend in faith, when hearts are pure, and when purpose is shared, a great mental power is born. It is through this harmony that intuition becomes lightning, clear, powerful, and unstoppable. And in that union of spirit and purpose, humanity touches the divine, transforming thoughts into miracles and dreams into living reality. The sixth sense is not a gift reserved for a few. It is a spiritual faculty available to every human being who dares to develop it. Yet, it reveals itself only to those who are ready, those who have cultivated purity of thought, self-discipline, and a deep connection to the higher intelligence that governs the universe. The final step in mastering this power lies in aligning your thoughts and emotions so completely with truth, purpose, and faith that the sixth sense becomes a constant companion. It then functions as a silent guardian, guiding you toward right actions and protecting you from unseen dangers. The awakening of this power requires a conscious partnership between the conscious and subconscious minds. The conscious mind must feed the subconscious with thoughts of faith, courage, and positivity so that it vibrates in harmony with infinite intelligence. When your mental state is clear and uplifted, the sixth sense operates with precision, translating messages from the higher realm into flashes of understanding and intuition. But when the mind is clouded with fear, envy, or doubt, the signals become distorted, and the inner voice of guidance is drowned in confusion. Thus, spiritual discipline becomes essential. It is through calmness, meditation, and moral integrity that the mind becomes a fitting instrument for divine communication. When this power is active, life takes on a new dimension. You begin to sense the right path even before logic confirms it. Opportunities seem to appear at the perfect moment. People come into your life as if drawn by an invisible magnet. You avoid mistakes that others fall into, not because you are smarter, but because something within warns you before you act. The sixth sense becomes your unseen protector, a silent advisor that whispers the truth before your eyes can see it. Those who have cultivated it often describe it as a feeling, a knowing, or an inner light that guides them unfailingly toward success and safety. This guidance is most reliable when the heart is pure. The sixth sense does not respond to greed, deceit, or selfish ambition. Its wisdom belongs to those whose intentions align with truth and service. The universe communicates most clearly with minds that seek to create, uplift, and bless others. When your goals are born of genuine purpose and your heart is free from malice, the power of intuition sharpens, and you find yourself moving in harmony with the natural flow of life. This harmony produces peace of mind, confidence, and the sense that unseen hands are assisting your progress. The most important principle in mastering the sixth sense is trust. You must learn to trust your inner voice even when reason cannot explain it. Intuition often speaks softly and briefly, but its accuracy grows with each act of faith. Every time you obey that inner nudge and find success, your confidence in it increases. Over time, this trust forms a bridge between the conscious and the infinite, allowing communication to flow freely. The person who reaches this stage no longer feels alone in decision-making, for they have found an ever-present guide that never sleeps and never misleads. It is through this spiritual awakening that one truly masters destiny. When you operate in tune with the infinite mind, you no longer chase success, you attract it. Your thoughts become commands that the universe fulfills because they are rooted in truth, purpose, and harmony. Obstacles lose their power, and challenges turn into opportunities for growth. You begin to live not merely by reaction, but by creation, shaping your reality with divine precision. The sixth sense is the highest expression of human intelligence because it links man with the source of all intelligence. It transforms ordinary understanding into spiritual vision and lifts one's consciousness beyond the limits of reason. To reach this state, one must live in faith, act with purity, and think in harmony with the highest good. When the mind, body, and spirit align with this principle, life becomes guided not by chance or luck, but by a force that sees beyond time and circumstance. In the end, mastering the sixth sense is the art of mastering oneself. It is about quieting the noise of fear so you can hear the whisper of truth. It is about learning to move with purpose instead of hesitation. And when this mastery is achieved, you walk through life with a calm certainty that whatever lies ahead, the infinite is walking with you. You have unlocked the ultimate partnership, the union between human will and divine guidance. And in that union lies the power to create miracles, to rise above every obstacle, and to live with unshakable peace and success.